Let's get some answers. Bring in SABC News reporter Sentleeng Lehihi. She is in Kroondal. Sentleeng, a very good morning to you. Give us the backstory to this in terms of why parents are at loggerheads with the department.
Good morning to you, Blaine, and our viewers. Indeed, we're here in Kroondal, near Rustenburg in the northwest. Our visit to Kroondal comes just days after the Northwest Department of Basic Education released a statement alleging that some people who are alleged to be parents of learners who were shifted from Tirelong Secondary School here to Boons and Newport farm schools forced their way into those schools and took those children from there and brought them back here. It is alleged that the parents had apparently heard some disturbing news about their children being accommodated there and felt that it was rather prudent for them to relocate their children back to this area. It is understood that the main reason for these learners to be shifted from the Tirelong Secondary School to the other satellite schools in Boons and Newport is because the Tirelong Secondary School was severely vandalized over the festive season. But it appears that arrangement to transfer these kids from Tirelong to the other satellite schools did not go in accordance with the expectations of parents who say that in as much as government made transport available and space available in the schools, no negotiation or discussions were done with parents, and parents were in fact, made to sign indemnities to release their children under adverse pressure and without really understanding what the wording in there is. But to get a better understanding as to what the situation is, because a large majority of those children are still here at their homes and not attending school, literally falling behind in the 2022 academic year. But for more detail, I'm joined by the Deputy Secretary of the SGB, Margaret. Sentle lebaka legolo la gore bana ba ntshiwe ko dikolong ke batsadi go diragetse
kgang ke gore batsadi go tswa ko bo Newport bana e ka re bana le mewa ya madimona ba bona dilo bosigo so bana ba bang ba thoba ko ba tla ka maoto ba bangwe ke utlwa gore batsadi ba bile ba ba lata gore bana ba grade tshireletso so ba bang ba ku Boons ga ke tsura le bone ba tshwenyegile ka kanya mokgwa ka gore ke na le mme ba itseng kiyo ke ene ngwana go ya tsanang ko Newport motlhomong a ka le tlhalosetsa sentle
ka pele re a go ga mme kwale re tlhalosetse tota seemo ga jana bana ba mo lapeng ba bang ga ba boela sekolong ra reng tota re le SGB ka bokamoso jwa bana ba
rona ka bokamoso jwa bana ba ke re go ka nna yang ga batsadi ba golo le bana ba boele dikolong ka gore thuto ke lesedi bana ba boele sekolong rona re le batsadi re tla bona gore re tswa yang ka go agela bana sekolo re bue le puso re ikopanye le puso le batsadi re etse task team gore re kgone bana ba kgone ba bone high school ka gore botlhoko gore ga ke lebeletse batsadi ba llela gore high school e ka se tlhole e nna teng mo motseng.
What she's explaining there is quite a complex array of issues. Firstly, there are allegations that the children who had been transferred to Newport alleged that they had been, perhaps possessed by some sinister powers and sinister energies, and informed their parents that they were uncomfortable in Newport and that their parents must fetch them. It appears that once those children from Newport were taken by their parents back to here in this area, another situation occurred in Boons, where parents also went to Boons and took about 162 of their children there, bringing them back here. But it seems that at the core of this issue here is that the parents believe that if the children are transferred to other schools away from this area, then it means that the existing school, which is currently vandalized, will not be renovated and there will not be any secondary or high school made available for those here. But we're lucky enough to have had the SGB organize a parent of one of the learners who was transferred to Newport. Me wa ka re tlhalosetse gore ngwana go kae ga jana a o ne a ene le mongwe wa bana ba ile gore ba ne ba boela gae.
Yeah, ngwana ke ga boela gae mme nne ke na le batsadi ba nne ba latile bana ngwana ke ne nna ntse mpoleletse gore mama nna ke siame mara ka bona gore ke tsamaele batsadi ke le motsadi le nna ke tsamaele batsadi kwa go bona gore seso sa ke eng ke fitile ka iponna gore tota go lofa bana ba ba nang le sporofit ba ba filweng ke bua ka sporofit bana ba ba filweng e rile fela ga re le fa gating fo ba gana gore go tsene 2 ya botsadi e be re ba kopa gore a bana ba tlo ema ka fa ga gate re ba bona ga bana ba tla ga ba tsena fela fa gating fa le re buile bone ke ge motlakase o tima ga motlakase o tima ke ge bana ba re di thomile dilo tsa fa e be ngwana o mongwe a profita fo
a re mo
seprofiting sa gagwe ke gare bana ba sekolo ba tsaya dibeke tsa bone re tsamaeng go lofa ga go a re siamela le setopo se ka tswa ga re ka nnafa
mo ka etsaetsegong eo mme wa ka ke eng wena o tshotse tshwetso ya gore ngwana go ene a se ka bua le ba bangwe mme a sa le koo
no ngwana ke ga ntse ke bua le ene ka phone o mpoleletse gore mama dilo tse di ka ko basitsaneng di thomile ka ko basitsaneng bana ba ba nang le mowa ba thomile ka ko basitsaneng ka rona ka fo rona mama ga ise dilo tse di tlhage ngwana ke o na tshotsa Bible ke mo file Bible ga ke ga ntare ke adimile bana ba le Bible gore gongwe ge le gore ke mowa wa masatanism ba dirisa Bible
ngwana gago wa kgona ga jana ko sekolong a ene o tsweletse pele ka dithuto
ene o tsweletse pele ka dithuto o tlile maabane ga tla maabane ke morae kere go etsagala ga o lefa a re mama nna ka gore ke a itse gore o setse le bana ba sister ba bannyane ke kopile gore ke tlo go checka gore o ya
ke lebogetse nako go mme wa
mantaga phakela
o boela sekolong ka mantaga ke lebogile thata. And there you have it, quite a sticky situation that is emerging from this description. This parent is telling us that when she arrived at the school there in Rustenburg with other parents, it seemed that kids with the spiritual gifts had begun to prophesy and send warning that where they had been accommodated was not safe enough for them, and that if they continue to stay there, there would be a fatality at some point. But we understand that from what her son has told her is that these prophecies were more aligned to the female learners, and he felt as a boy learner that he was not at risk, as his mother had given him a Bible to secure himself. It is still not quite clear how this issue of prophecy led to these children to be taken away from the schools en masse and for them to be here currently. But for her, she says she's quite happy that her child never ever had left the school at any of those given points where there was that much activity, and only requested permission to come home this weekend to assist her with other younger members of the family. For now, back to you in studio.
Sentleeng, what more are we learning from the department, the Provincial Department of Education? Have they weighed in on this? What's the latest?
What we understand from the Provincial Department of Education is that they've opened a case of malicious damage to property with the police. Having spoken to the police, they've confirmed that case of malicious damage to property, but have rejected any insinuation of any case of kidnapping having been opened. And in their understanding, the children were taken from the schools by their parents. We've seen an appeal from the MEC, Wendy Matsemela, saying to parents that let us return these children back to schools and have a multi-stakeholder engagement to seek an amicable solution to this impasse. But it seems that some parents are not budging, demanding facilities to be brought to this area. It's either they get the temporary classes or the school is renovated or there will be no return. But for some parents, they have already begun taking their children back to the school. I understand from the Deputy Secretary of the SGB, about 40 learners will be returning back to school on Monday.
All right, it's a developing story. No doubt you'll keep us up to date with the very latest. Sentleeng Lehihi, live for us in Kroondal. Thank you very much.